The lights blaze hot on the CNN studio set as Representative Jasmine Crockett strode confidently toward the podium, her purple suit crisp against the blue backdrop, legal documents visible in her right hand. Just moments earlier, White House Deputy Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt had been smiling during her segment on Fox News, unaware of the bombshell about to detonate across the political landscape. The split screen showed both women simultaneously, Crockett's determined face on the left, Leavitt's composed expression on the right. Today, Crockett announced, her voice steady and clear, I've filed a $90 million zero-cent defamation lawsuit against Karoline Leavitt for knowingly spreading dangerous lies about me that have resulted in death threats to my family. The room fell silent as cameras zoomed in on the legal papers. Reporters' phones immediately lit up as the news alert spread like wildfire. Within seconds, producers at Fox News rushed to inform Leavitt, still on air, about what was happening. The camera caught her face transform from confidence to shock, her eyes widening as she received the information through her earpiece. This wasn't just another political spat. This was a $90 million zero-cents legal battle about to unfold live on national television. Before we dive deeper into this explosive confrontation, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any updates on this developing story that's shaking Washington to its core. Representative Jasmine Crockett, 43, had built her reputation on fighting for justice. The former civil rights attorney and Texas state legislator had risen quickly through Democratic ranks after winning her congressional seat in 2022. Known for her sharp legal mind and fearless questioning in congressional hearings, she had become a powerful voice for her constituents and a thorn in the side of her political opponents. Karoline Leavitt, at just 28, had followed a different path. The former Trump White House assistant press secretary had leveraged her youth and media savvy to become a deputy White House press secretary in the current administration. With her blonde hair, polished appearance, and combative style, she had become a favorite among conservative viewers who appreciated her unwavering defense of administrative policies and her quick dismissals of Democratic criticisms. The conflict between them had been brewing for months. It started with routine political disagreements but escalated dramatically 3 weeks ago when Leavitt held a press briefing where she displayed alleged text messages from Crockett's phone. Representative Crockett claims to support law enforcement publicly, Leavitt had said, pointing to the screen behind her. But these private messages show she actually supports defunding police departments nationwide and called officers state-sanctioned terrorists. The accusation spread rapidly through conservative media circles. Crockett had immediately denied the allegations, calling the messages completely fabricated and demanding a retraction. But Leavitt doubled down, appearing on multiple news programs stating she had verified the authenticity of the messages. As death threats began pouring into Crockett's office and home, the stakes escalated beyond political theater. This isn't about politics, Crockett's attorney Gloria Mitchell stated in a press release. This is about deliberate defamation that has put a public servant's life at risk. The messages Ms. Leavitt presented were fabricated, and we have digital forensic evidence to prove it. Back in the CNN studio, Crockett stood firm, documents in hand. When you knowingly spread lies that endanger someone's life, there are consequences, she said. This lawsuit isn't just for me, it's for every public servant who's been targeted with fabricated smears. Meanwhile, at Fox News, producers were scrambling. Leavitt, still on air but now visibly tense, tried to maintain her composure as the host asked, "We're just getting news about a lawsuit filed against you by Representative Crockett. Can you respond to that?" The camera caught her swallow hard, the first crack in her usually flawless media presence appearing. As news of the $90 million zero-cents lawsuit exploded across social media, both CNN and Fox News extended their segments. The drama unfolded in real time as Crockett continued her press conference, methodically laying out her case. "For 3 weeks, I've asked Ms. Leavitt to retract her false statements," Crockett explained, her voice measured but firm. Instead, she escalated her attacks, appearing on 17 different news programs, repeating these fabricated messages. Behind her, a digital display showed each appearance with dates and timestamps, the visualization making clear how extensive the campaign had been. Crockett then revealed her first piece of evidence. "My technology team conducted a forensic analysis of my devices," she said. as her attorney displayed a certified digital forensics report. This independent analysis confirms no such messages ever existed on my phone or any of my accounts. The CNN host interrupted, "Representative Crockett, $90 million 0 cents is an extraordinary amount for a defamation suit. Can you explain how you arrived at that figure?" Crockett nodded gravely. 3 components make up this figure. First, the demonstrable damage to my reputation. Second, the willful, malicious nature of the defamation. But, most significantly, her voice hardened, the danger Miss Leavitt knowingly placed me and my family in. She signaled to her team, who displayed screenshots of death threats. The most disturbing ones were blurred for broadcast, but the volume and viciousness were apparent. Since Ms. Leavitt's false claims, my office has received over 3,000 threats. My home address was docked. My children required security escorts to school. Across town at Fox News, Leavitt was struggling to regain her footing. "This is just another attempt to silence opposition," she said, but her voice wavered slightly. The host pressed her. "Did you verify these alleged messages before presenting them publicly?" "Of course we did," Leavitt responded, straightening her posture. "Our team received these from a credible source within Representative Crockett's office." Back at CNN, Crockett was ready for this claim. "Miss Leavitt just stated she received these messages from someone in my office," she said. "This is demonstrably false. I've had the same 4 staff members for my entire term, all of whom have signed affidavits confirming they never provided such messages, because they don't exist." The tension ratcheted higher when CNN announced they were bringing in Alan Dershowitz, the renowned constitutional law expert. "This lawsuit has merit," he stated bluntly. "If the messages were indeed fabricated, and if Ms. Leavitt failed to verify them properly before broadcasting them as fact, she faces significant legal exposure." The stakes escalated further when Speaker of the House James Carlton issued a statement. "These allegations are serious. The House Ethics Committee will be looking into whether government resources were improperly used to create or disseminate falsified communications attributed to a sitting member of Congress." Leavitt, still on air at Fox News, received this update through her earpiece. Viewers noticed her complexion pale slightly. The host attempted to pivot to other topics, but social media was already exploding with clips of Leavitt looking increasingly uncomfortable. Then came the first major twist. Crockett revealed that her team had traced the origin of the fabricated messages. "We've identified the digital footprint of where these forgeries originated," she announced. The metadata points to a government IP address, specifically a computer within the White House Communications Office. This revelation sent shockwaves through both broadcasts. At Fox News, Leavitt visibly stiffened, her eyes darting briefly to someone off camo. When the host asked her to respond to this new allegation, she stumbled over her words. We would never," before regaining partial composure. "That's a serious accusation without evidence." Crockett was prepared for this too. She displayed technical documents on screen. "Here are the forensic reports from Blacklight Cybersecurity showing the digital trail. We've submitted these to the FBI for further investigation." The situation intensified when CNN announced they had obtained exclusive security footage from the White House Communications Office from the date the forgeries were allegedly created. "We can't show this footage yet due to the ongoing investigation," the anchor explained, "but sources tell us it clearly shows who was involved in creating these documents." At Fox News, producers were now visibly in crisis mode. The host received urgent messages through his earpiece, and the broadcast suddenly cut to a commercial break. But not before viewers caught Leavitt's face showing genuine alarm. When Fox returned from the break, Leavitt was attempting to appear confident again. Representative Crockett has been a vocal critic of this administration. "This lawsuit is clearly politically motivated." She was interrupted by breaking news that the White House Communications Director had just issued a statement. "We take these allegations extremely seriously. We have initiated an internal investigation and will cooperate fully with any external inquiries. If any staff member has acted improperly, appropriate action will be taken." This statement, notably failing to defend Leavitt directly, seemed to hit her like a physical blow. For the first time, viewers could see real fear in her eyes. The decisive moment came when CNN played a bombshell audio recording. "We've obtained exclusive audio from a meeting that took place in the White House Communications Office 3 weeks ago," the anchor announced. "Our sources have verified its authenticity." The recording began playing and Leavitt's voice was clearly recognizable. "These messages will destroy her credibility. No one will believe her denials once these go public." Another voice, identified as Deputy Communications Director Mark Weston, sounded hesitant. "But if these aren't real, we're crossing a line here." Leavitt's voice responded, "It doesn't matter. By the time anyone figures that out, the damage will be done." At Fox News, Leavitt's face drained of color as the audio played in her earpiece. The host, clearly blindsided, asked, "Ms. Leavitt, CNN is playing what they claim is audio of you discussing fabricating messages. Would you like to respond?" The camera caught the precise moment Leavitt realized the gravity of her situation. Her practiced composure cracked completely as she struggled to form a response. That's not... They're taking that completely out of context," she stammered, her voice breaking. CNN wasn't finished. Their legal analyst explained, "If this audio is authenticated, we're no longer just talking about a civil lawsuit. Creating false documents to damage a federal official could potentially violate several criminal statutes." The hammer fell when CNN revealed they had located the credible source Leavitt had referenced. "We've interviewed the person Miss Leavitt claimed provided these messages," Crockett announced. "Jordan Ellis, a former intern who was dismissed from my office 6 months ago for ethical violations." The broadcast cut to a recorded interview with Ellis, a nervous-looking young man. "Ms. Leavitt contacted me after I was fired," he admitted. "She offered to help me get a position in the administration if I would verify these messages as authentic. But I never gave her any messages because I never had access to Representative Crockett's personal communications." This revelation proved too much for Leavitt. On live television, her professional demeanor completely collapsed. Her eyes welled with tears, her voice cracked, and she struggled to maintain composure. I can't," she stammered, before abruptly removing her microphone and earpiece. The Fox News host, clearly unprepared, awkwardly said, "We seem to be having some technical difficulties with our guest," as Leavitt could be seen in the background, being ushered away by producers. CNN immediately seized on this moment. "We're seeing what appears to be Karoline Leavitt breaking down on Fox News after these revelations," the anchor noted as they played the clip of her exit. Crockett, maintaining her composure, continued her press conference. "This was never about politics," she stated firmly. "This was about truth and accountability. Mrs. Leavitt knowingly fabricated evidence to damage my reputation and endanger my family. No public servant, regardless of party, should ever have to face such dangerous and dishonest attacks." The triumph was complete when CNN announced they had obtained internal White House emails discussing the Crockett operation. These emails, dated before the press conference where Levy first presented the fabricated messages, explicitly discussed creating convincing text exchanges that would damage Crockett's standing with law enforcement supporters. As these emails were displayed on screen, legal experts weighed in on the implications. "This is a prosecutor's dream case," former U.S. Attorney Barbara Reynolds explained. "You have premeditation, documentation of intent, the act itself caught on camera, and now the cover-up falling apart on live television." Social media exploded with the hashtag #LeavittMeltdown as the clip of her removing her microphone and fleeing the interview went viral. Political figures from both parties began issuing statements condemning the fabrication of evidence against a member of Congress. The White House press secretary hastily called a press conference, announcing, "In light of today's revelations, Karoline Leavitt has been placed on administrative leave pending a full investigation." The White House categorically condemns any effort to fabricate information about elected officials. For Crockett, the vindication was complete when CNN reported that the FBI had just arrived at the White House to secure electronic devices and documents related to the case. "Justice works slowly sometimes," she remarked, "but today the truth has prevailed." The final devastating blow came when CNN played one more clip, security footage showing Leavitt and two staffers working on a document labeled Crockett on the exact date the forensic evidence indicated the forgeries were created. The footage clearly showed them laughing as they crafted the fake messages. As this damning evidence aired, Fox News made an unprecedented on-air apology. In light of new information, Fox News regrets giving airtime to allegations against Representative Crockett that now appear to have been fabricated. "We are reviewing our verification processes and will cooperate with any investigations." The fallout was swift and extensive. Within hours of Leavitt's on-air breakdown, Justice 90 Million was trending nationwide. Major networks interrupted regular programming to cover what commentators were calling one of the most significant political scandals of the year. Crockett, standing outside the courthouse after filing additional documents, addressed the growing crowd of reporters. Today sends a clear message. The era of consequence-free lying in American politics is over. When public officials abuse their positions to spread deliberate falsehoods that endanger lives, they will face justice. In this case, to the tune of $90 million, 0 cents. The political implications rippled through Washington as both parties scrambled to respond. Senior administration officials distanced themselves from Leavitt, with the chief of staff issuing a statement. The alleged actions, if proven true, represent a severe violation of this administration's standards and ethics. They do not reflect our values or our approach to governance. Congressional leaders announced a bipartisan investigation into the incident. The deliberate fabrication of evidence against a sitting member of Congress threatens the very foundations of our democratic system, the Senate Majority Leader declared. This transcends partisan politics. Legal experts began appearing on every major network, analyzing the case from all angles. "This lawsuit has game-changing potential," noted renowned attorney Benjamin Crump on MSNBC. "Beyond the $90 million 0 cents in damages, it establishes that political figures can and will be held accountable for deliberate defamation." The social media response was overwhelming. The video of Leavitt's breakdown had been viewed over 40 million times within 5 hours. Political commentators from across the spectrum weighed in, with even staunch conservatives condemning the fabrication of evidence. "There's a line between political opposition and destructive deception," wrote a prominent conservative columnist. "Creating fake evidence crosses that line and damages our entire political ecosystem." The story took another dramatic turn when 3 junior staffers from the White House Communications Office came forward with additional information. "We were pressured to participate in what was called opposition research on Representative Crockett," one stated in an affidavit released by CNN. "When we couldn't find anything damaging, the directive changed to creating a narrative that would undermine her." Tech experts examined the metadata from the fabricated messages and confirmed Crockett's claims. "These documents were created using White House computers," explained cybersecurity expert Marcus Chen. "The digital fingerprints are unmistakable." By evening, the first legal consequences began materializing. The Department of Justice issued a statement acknowledging they were reviewing the matter for potential violations of federal law. The White House counsel's office announced an internal investigation, and the House Ethics Committee formally opened an inquiry. Leavitt herself remained out of public view after her on-air breakdown. Sources close to her reported she had retained high-profile defense attorney Alan Dershowitz, the same legal expert who had earlier commented on CNN that Crockett's case had merit. Political analysts began discussing the broader implications. "This case represents a turning point," explained political scientist Dr. Jennifer Morris on CNN. "For years, we've seen political figures spread demonstrably false information without consequences. The Crockett lawsuit establishes that the courts can provide a remedy when political lies cross into defamation territory." The $90 million 0 cents figure itself became a topic of extensive discussion. Legal experts explained that such a large amount was actually justifiable given the circumstances. When defamation leads to thousands of death threats and necessitates armed security for a member of Congress and her family, $90 million 0 cents is entirely reasonable, explained former federal judge Thomas Harrington. Courts have awarded similar amounts in cases where defamation led to demonstrable danger. The ripple effects extended beyond politics into the media landscape. News organizations began publicly reviewing their fact-checking protocols. Fox News announced a new verification system for allegations made on their network. CNN instituted a pause period before airing potentially defamatory claims against public figures. By late evening, the White House press secretary held an emergency briefing to announce, effective immediately, Karoline Leavitt has resigned from her position. The White House will cooperate fully with all investigations into this matter. For Crockett, the vindication was complete when she appeared on a primetime special. This was never just about me, she explained. This was about defending the truth in our political discourse. When we allow lies to go unchallenged, when we permit fabrications to stand as fact, we damage the very foundation of our democracy. The final significant development came when the judge assigned to the case denied a motion to dismiss and allowed the suit to proceed on an expedited basis. Given the public interest in this matter and the significant evidence already in the public domain, this case merits priority consideration, the judge wrote in his order. As the broadcast concluded, political commentators noted that, regardless of the eventual court outcome, the Crockett v. Leavitt case had already made history. We're witnessing a watershed moment, explained constitutional scholar Lawrence Tribe. This case establishes that, in the age of digital media, accountability for defamation doesn't disappear when the defamer holds political office. The story closed with Crockett returning to her congressional office, where she was greeted by applauding staff members and a wall covered with supportive messages from constituents. Truth won today, she told them, but our work continues tomorrow. As social media continued to explode with discussions of the case, the hashtags accountability90million and truth prevails dominated trending lists nationwide. Political figures from both parties issued statements emphasizing the importance of truth in public discourse. The final scene showed Leavitt through the window of a downtown law office, surrounded by attorneys, her face still showing the strain of someone whose career and reputation had imploded in real time on national television. This wasn't just a political scandal or a lawsuit. It was a turning point in how America addresses deliberate deception in its political culture. As one commentator noted, the $90 million 0 cents figure isn't just compensation for Crockett. It's a price tag on the value of truth in our democracy. The country watched and waited to see what would happen next as the most explosive political lawsuit in recent memory began its journey through the courts. What started as a political attack had become a national reckoning on accountability, truth, and the limits of political combat. Thank you for watching this complete breakdown of the Crockett lawsuit against Leavitt. If you found this analysis informative, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth political coverage. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our follow-up report on the legal proceedings as they develop. Leave a comment below with your thoughts on this unprecedented case and what it means for political accountability in America. Until next time, stay informed